how close to the serial production car is this prototype?
That's a very good question. We started with the Ampere small platform and we modified it during the advanced design phase of this car so that we can make this in production. So this car is between 80 and 90% close to production in terms of exterior, what you see.
Okay, but now impress me with the details.
Yeah, God is in the details, you're right. Well, this car, the design is very simple, right? It's very minimalistic, and the details is where all the magic happens.
The magic,
right?
yes.
Let's start with the lamps because, well, they are so emblematic, right, of the Twingo. The Twingo had these round lamps which were squished a little bit, right? And if you see here, we have a very nice detail with the DRL, with body color going in here. It's all LED, of course, right? And then we'll have the main function here, which today we can make functions which are super small and tiny. So this allows us to keep the Twingo kind of shape of headlamp, like a frog eyes almost, but in a very modern way.
Can we have matrix functionality here?
Matrix LEDs, of course, why not? We could, but for such a small city car, where the main user case is in the city, we have to balance cost versus vanity, right? So matrix is very cool, but maybe for such a small car, it'll be too expensive to have.
So you say with this car, people won't drive on the countryside when...
Well, I'm sure some people will, but the main user case for this car is to drive in the city.
Okay, I have to ask you because we got a lot of questions from our viewers. They ask us, where can we buy the eyelashes for the Twingo? Can we expect these eyelashes for the new Twingo as well?
Wow, that would make it really cute. It's something that I didn't anticipate to make, but you're giving us ideas, huh, for accessories. Maybe we have to start a business case for that. Good one. Genuine
accessories.
Yes.
Okay, let's continue with the details. I am missing the battery charger this information like in the Renault 5.
Yes, interesting. The more pieces we add on the car, the more expensive it becomes, and it's kind of important for a small city car. We have targeted to make it below 20,000 euros. We want to sell it for that price, so we had to make hard choices. So the charger, although it's very useful and it's very nice to have it, it has two constraints. One, well, there's an additional piece, additional price to add on the car, and second, it takes up a lot of space on the bonnet, where in the R5, which is a slightly bigger car, it's 25 centimeters bigger than this, the bonnet is more square, so we have more space to put this kind of stuff, whereas here we wanted to go as low as possible to keep this really lovely mono volume shape. So we couldn't add more things here because underneath we'll have to, since we have hard points for pedestrian shock, then we have to go up here, right? So we avoided that. But of course for the charge, in the concept car, we thought that we could put something here in the lit up logo because it can have so many functionalities built in here.
So this will stay?
In the production car, I think it's one of those things that I don't think it'll be difficult to keep, I think, in the production car.
It will be difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. You will keep this?
Yes. Okay. in some way, right? Here they're standing out a little bit too proud. Maybe we'll make them a little bit more integrated in the volume, right? To make them a little bit more discreet. But they are useful. They are real air intakes for the air conditioning.
Okay. So we touched this mono-volume shape. So the first Twingo was the MPV.
Yes.
Could we say this car is also an MPV?
You're right. The Twingo was the smallest MPV in the world somehow, right? Or at least in Europe. And this mono-volume shape is super important for us because it optimizes the interior space for a given footprint. So you can call it an MPV, yes, of course. Whether it will be a big family MPV, no.
Yeah, of course not.
It's a tiny city MPV. But still, we have enough space to put four adults of my size in the car. So we designed it.
On the back seats?
On the back seats, you can have two. And in the front, you can have two.
Your size?
My size, yeah. I'm 1.90 m, so that's the promise.
Wow. Are you sure?
Yes.
So that means that the rear seats will be sliding? Or?
We are trying to, it's a good question because the modularity of the Twingo was a big point. We are trying to work on that. It's too early to announce what kind of modularity we'll have on the rear seats because they're frankly not even designed yet. So we are working on different use cases to see which one is the most right one to make on the rear seat.
What kind of options do you have?
Either the rear seats could be sliding, they could be folding, or we could find another way of mechanism to create some kind of modularity. So these are options that we are studying, right? None of them have been validated.
Okay, but many people, many students also traveled with the first generation Twingo, and they slept in the car many times. Will you offer here the sleeping mode?
The sleeping mode was you're right. It was really like a student camping camping mode. We would love to offer it. I don't think today we are at that position in the project that I can concretely say whether we are there or not. Right. So it's too early for me to talk anything about this.
I ask you this question because 2 weeks ago the Chinese brand showed me the small city car that offers us a Chinese style nap.
Ah, yes.
So with the folding seats. So this car should offer this as well.
It's a good suggestion. I'll keep a note.
Okay.
Along with the eyelashes.
Okay. Okay. Tell me about the roof. The first generation Twingo had this rolled.
The fabric roof.
The fabric roof.
Yes.
Yeah. So what can we expect in this segment?
Again, I mean, this car will have an entry-level price point, which is under 20K. Most likely, we will not have any kind of glass roof on that model because it is quite expensive. Okay. On the higher-end model, we are working at many scenarios right now. A glass roof,
fabric roof as well.
It's one of the scenarios which is in study. Again, we are only 2024. The production car is 26. We still have 2 years to go. So there's a little bit of time before we decide on that. But you know what happens is a lot of decisions like these are taken a little bit later on in the project. And I'm sure between now and 2026, you'll have more information.
I come from Slovenia. We are very keen to know how easy to produce this car will be. How will this design affect the production in Novo Mesto?
Well, one part that is very important for making cars in an easy way is to reduce the number of pieces that you can have on a car. So, and that's something that we are trying very hard on this car. On the concept car, we have a little bit more pieces than the production car because as we go on from this point towards the production, we reduce even more the number of pieces. But already I can give you an example of the front bumper. The front bumper is just one piece. Right? Yeah. There's one main body color piece.
Yeah.
So there's diversity only on one piece in terms of the color, and all the other pieces, which is the air intake here and the bumper, they're black. Very simple. We don't have DRLs in the bumper because some cars they have separate DRLs which are in the bumper, and then part of it is in the headlamp. Here, everything is in the headlamp, so it's very simple already. So this kind of approach is what we are taking all across the car at all levels. So the surfaces that you see and you don't see, to make it simple to manufacture and make it hence cheaper and faster to manufacture.
And also cheaper to deassemble and recycle.
That's a very good point. That's something that is, Luca has missioned us for this, to make our cars more recyclable. Scenic is 90% recyclable. So I think we have a good way now in the company to do this. And I think we will target very high recyclability also in this car.
Can we expect some special materials here in this car?
The recycled content of materials will keep on going higher and higher in our cars. You see here we have tried to work on a material which is simulating a recycled material, right? Because this material is in development right now. So here this is just a maquette of that material. But the idea is to recycle plastics to make it a piece that is resistant to wear and tear without being painted, right? So this piece is not painted, but it is a naturally grained plastic which is coming from recycling.
So could you put that kind of plastic also here?
Yeah, why Why not? It's just a color and trim choice. Here we are showing the car in one color and choice that we have made. These kind of details, they are still in evaluation of what kind of material we'll put. So maybe we can have this kind of material here too, of course.
Also for the beds?
It's the case already. Yeah, it's the case already. What we are also doing is we are also exploring materials which are softer than this in this zone, because the idea of these bumpers is to avoid scratching your car when you're driving or parking, especially at low speed, in very tight parking spaces, you know. So to avoid scratching your bumper, especially something that happens very often in Paris, because the tight parking spaces are super tight. So these can be very helpful.
Okay, great. Looking forward to see the production car.
Yeah, very soon.
Very soon. Okay.
26 is coming just along the way, right?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Conversation.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Cheers. Thank you very much.